Well, here's the next build on the chopping block. I've been messing with it for a while. I'll put a picture of what it looked like before I started with it. But anyways, it's got a V-twin in it. I found these 25s to put on the back. It's got a hydro in it. I got a 6-speed in that thing. It's really muddy, it just got done raining. But I'm gonna put that in there. And then I'm gonna have to build some custom fenders to clear these tires. And it's missing its throttle cable because I used it on something else. So I'll have to make a gas pedal. And I got some wheels I'm making for the front of this so I can have 4-wheeler tires on the front. And it'll look pretty good, I think, when I get done with it. But it's gonna be a slow going project, but it'll get done. Well, I went ahead and pulled the hydro out. And not sure if I want to take the 6-speed out of this one, which I'd have to replace the pulley on either one because that's bad, or if I want to take this. I think they're the same transmission, but I don't know which one would be better off to take. I know that one doesn't have a brake caliper piece on it, so I might end up with this one, but the linkage off this one wouldn't work on that mower, so I might have to take the linkage off this one and then use that trans axle. So I don't know. I'll decide on that here in a minute. Another thing, when you're manual swapping the hydros, which I didn't notice this the first time, but these brackets are different links on the manuals and the hydros, and I had to redo everything last swap I did. I had to take all it off and swap the brackets back because the shifter wouldn't line up. So that's another thing. Well, I got the manual piece swapped over. This one has the rods on this side, and it's a lot longer, and then on the hydros, it's on this side. So they don't go back and forth. For the transaxle I'm using, I think I'm gonna use the other one, not this one, because this one doesn't have the front brackets I need, and it also has a hole in the oil fill plug, and the shifter piece arm is a little messed up. So I think that one's just a lot better for what I'm doing because it has both brackets it needs, and it has a brake piece. It's got this tiny little pulley welding on it, but I think I can fix that. It shouldn't be too hard to just grind off the welds on that, but I'm gonna pull that, which might take a minute, but I'm gonna try it out. Well, I got this piece on. I ended up having to swap from the piece that was on that linkage because the part that the shift handle screws onto was cut off, and I wanted to have a nice shift knob. So I swapped that piece, and now I got one that threads in and doesn't fall off. So that's good. Well, I got the trans pulled. That's gonna be fun to get off, but I'll deal with that later. I think on this one, I'm gonna try out welding the diff for the first time. I haven't done it on anything else, but this is gonna be a dedicated mud rig, so I figure I might try it out. Well, I got the case split. It's all looking pretty good in here. I'll have to clean all this out and then weld the diff up and probably put some new fluid in it. I got these wheels all centered in there, and then use this thing. Got it even everywhere. And I ground down the paint. So I guess I'm gonna spot weld it in place real quick. Well, I tacked it in there real quick, and I made sure it's even on all sides. So I can fully weld it now. Well, I had the front of this go-kart frame here, and it had these little gas pedals on it. So I took one of those off, and I'm using it to make a pedal for this. I found this little bent piece. I'm gonna screw that right there. And then I got my pedal. I put a bolt hole through there, hooked the spring right there. I had to cut off this plate because it was on the wrong side. It was on this side, and I want this to be closest to that. So I had to weld that back on, but I had to screw this down. And then I need to put a lock nut right there. I just grabbed the normal one I had laying around. And then I should have the gas pedal, and then I'll just have to hook up a cable. Well, I went ahead and welded that piece on there, and then they ain't pretty, but it'll hold. Now I got a coat of paint on it. I gotta put one more coat on this side and then flip it over and do the other side. There's that. I just gotta figure out how to attach a cable into it now. And I might try to space this out so it starts to spring a little noise. That should work pretty good though. Put a little zip tie right there in between the top two. And it got rid of a lot of that loud spring noise. I mean, it still has a little, but that's just from that skipping right there. So it's a lot better. And for the cable, I think I'm gonna wrap it right through there and then run it up to the front right there. Or I can maybe drill a hole through this or wrap it around this. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But I gotta get this motor running first. Needs a carb clean, I know. And it might need a new coil or something. Not sure yet. I'll figure that out in a little bit. But I think this setup should work pretty good. I also need to take this bar out of here because it was for the deck and I don't really need it anymore, and it gets in the way of your leg trying to use this pedal. And it's just unnecessary. So I think you got to take most of the dash apart to get that out though, which kind of stinks. So I might just take this top plate off and then try to cut it in half with an angle grinder. I'm not sure yet. Well, I went ahead and put it back together. I don't guess I'm welding this one yet. I think I'm gonna try to do it a different way with putting 2 extra gears into the diff to lock it, because so it can still have room to play. Because if you weld it solid, there's a good chance it'll break if you don't get it perfectly straight. So I think I'm gonna do that later. So I went ahead and put it together, sealed it back up, and I'm gonna put fresh oil in it. I took the brake apart because I was trying to get it to go together and it was getting in my way. But I'll put that back on. And I think I might have to find a different mount or bend this one different, because this one's right and then this one's the same as that one, and it's supposed to have 2 different mounts. So that might not line up. I'll have to see what it looks like, because I think that'll get in the way of the brakes. I don't know. I'll figure that out tomorrow. And that's gonna be fun to get off, because I think I'm gonna go probably a 5-inch in the back and a 5-inch in the front. I'm not sure yet, but I'll pick that back up tomorrow because it's getting next day. I think I'm gonna try to put that brake back together here in just a second. And I got this to put in the chains axle. I mean, it's not trans fluid, but I think it's worked for what it is, because I don't have any transmission fluid right now. So I'm gonna put that in there real quick, and I'll pick it back up. Now, I don't know exactly how full you're supposed to get this, but I've heard you always want to go about right in the middle because it lowers your chance of leaking. But I'll probably just take a guess on it. Well, I got that filled to about the halfway point right here. And I guess I'm gonna put the plug back in real quick, and then I'll pull this apart. I haven't taken those apart in a while. I'm not 100% sure how it all goes back together, but it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. So I'm gonna put this back in here, and then we'll work on that. Well, I put the plug back in. I'm gonna take the brake piece off. Well, we got one out. It ain't too pretty, but now I gotta try to break the other piece. Whoops. Knocked you off. Well, I got that piece off. Now I think this just slides right on there. And then the little metal pad goes in there. And then this little brake pad goes right here. And I think you can just bolt it back together. I don't know how the spring was, so I'm gonna have to figure that out real quick. Then I'll put it back in. Well, I got the brakes put back together. I probably need new brake pads, and that's got oily because they don't work the best, but I'm just gonna roll with it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and bolt it back in, and then I'll just be able to take the back cover off to work on this thing. But I wanna have it in there so I can test fit the tires, because these axles are wider, and so I can space the wheels out a little more and might not have to cut as much on my fenders. And like I said before, these are the hydro brackets, and I don't think they cross over between the manuals. So I'm gonna have to take these brackets off, which they're still attached to a transaxle. So I'm just gonna have to take the transaxle off and that bracket, but I'll figure that out in a minute. There's another mower y'all haven't seen. It's not technically mine, but it's here for now. No nut on that one. Well, that one's out. Got a bunch of ants crawling around. This is gonna be one of my parts transaxles, because it's missing some stuff. I might have to use these spacers in a little bit. I got this one too. I'm not really sure what it is. I might put that one inside though. Now I can take these brackets off. And I think I need to add one more bolt there, because maybe two more, I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. Well, I got these brackets off. And as you can see, they're a lot longer than the Hydro ones. So I'm gonna swap those over real quick. Then I think I'm just gonna go ahead and bolt the transaxle in. I'll leave this back cover plate off for now so I can get to it, but it should be good enough to test fit these tires. I'm thinking I might just take these fenders, cut them right here, cut them off there, because I already have floorboards on that. And then, but once I cut off these, I'm not sure where I want to go with it, because I don't know if I can keep these Well, I don't need this anymore because I'm relocating the gas tank to the front. But I don't know how much of this I can keep. It'd be nice to have a cup holder. And then I'll probably just, I might widen it out later and have it mold up a little. Not sure yet. One side on. Now I just gotta do the other real quick. Well, I gotta get this little shift linkage piece off too. It's missing a nut on one side. I think I can just take it off that one. Or I might have one in my bolt bin. Not sure. I'll have to look. Well, I found the nut I need. This is my bolt bin right here. So now we can go ahead and put that linkage on and bolt in the transaxle. Well, I got the 6-speed all installed. Got all 6 gears. I got the tires put on. I haven't clipped them in yet. They're just sitting there. And then I gotta bolt this on. But I'm probably gonna leave that off for now, so I can get that pulley off. Got the new fluid in it. I gotta make a bracket for the fenders because normally there's one that comes up to here, curves over and goes right there, but I'm missing it. I got some metal I can make one out of though. I'm gonna make one of those and then test fit the fenders to see how much I need to cut or trim. And then I'll go from there. Well, I haven't built the fender bracket yet, but I am working on painting the hood. I got it all prepped. I'm about to spray it. I grabbed this color last night when I went to the store. I think it'll look pretty good. And I think I'm gonna put some black, one black stripe down the middle, or maybe one down each side. Not sure yet. I'll paint that real quick though. Well, I started to paint the hood. I ran out of paint before I could finish, so you can still see the black through it. But I'm gonna pick up some more paint tomorrow and finish it out, and that should look pretty good. I also painted up my dad's tractor forks while I was at it. Well, last night I went ahead and got these fenders out of the junk pile. It's the ones that had the floorboards attached, and I went ahead and just cut them straight off right there. And I'm gonna fill that gap with a floorboard brace because these aren't the sturdiest. So I have a floorboard brace that comes up and over and hooks into that floorboard too. And I got this piece. I'm gonna try to make a fender bracket out of it so I can lift it up high enough, and then it should clear the tires. And I might still be able to use this. It's the automatic plate, and this is a manual, and neutral ain't gonna be where it's gonna be, and reverse ain't gonna be where it's gonna be. But I think I can just cut that out right there, cut it out right there, and it still work for a shifter plate. It just ain't gonna have the right spots on it. And I was working on getting the front steering hooked up. I got this bar off a parts mower. It's bent, so I'm gonna have to straighten it so it sets in these holes flat. It had one on it, but someone had messed it up and it was really out of line. And I don't think I could adjust it out with that little bit of thread. I might be able to, I don't know. And I was missing this steering bar, and I found one, but it's not in great shape. So that side's fine. But under here, where is it? I went ahead and just put a devil nut on there because the tie rod piece for it fell out. So I might have to get a new one of those eventually. And I'm about to go to the store and pick up some paint to finish out the hood. Found this old bed rail from a bed frame, and I think I'm just gonna cut it right there, cut it right there, and then cut out some side pieces and use that to make my grill, because I don't have a grill. And I think custom headlights, I'll probably cut out a spot for LED pods or cut them out of the back. I don't know. Well, it's a little windy today to be painting, but I got a fresh can and I put down some drop cloth so I don't get overspray everywhere. There's one extra coat slapped on it. I really think I just should have done this with primer, because you're still going to just always be able to see that it's darker than it should be. The top of it's starting to fade in, and this side I just haven't worked out great. So I might just redo this whole hood in the future, but I'll just use the rest of this can and call it good enough, because this one's already almost half empty. I just should have used primer. So after fighting with this paint for a while, because, you know, I didn't primer it like I should have, I think I'm going to leave this down here, because I was able to get that solid. This area right here, I'm just going to paint black. Tape it right there. Paint this section black. Do that the same on this side. And then maybe 2 little stripes down the hood. It ain't going to look like I wanted it, but it might still look pretty good. So I'm going to try that out. Well, I sprayed one side black, and based off what I'm seeing, it's going to look pretty good. So that might need one more coat, and then I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so I just took the tape off that side, and it looks really good actually, so I think I'm just going to roll with it. Well, I got both sides painted up on it, and I actually like the way it turned out. I don't know what I'm going to do with the headlight yet, but I think I'm going to maybe paint this center section black. I'm not sure, because I thought about doing like little shark teeth across it. I don't know. I'll take some tape and mask it off and see what I think. And then I got to make the grill later. And then I'll start working on the fenders. I'm gonna mount them up first and get this all bent out before I start painting them. Well, I forgot to record that part, but I went ahead and cut out that piece and then welded it onto here. And that's gonna be my fender bracket. I just gotta drill some holes right here, right there, right there, and then bolt that in. And I'll have a fender bracket, and it'll be lifted up about 4 inches, which is the same as factory, and it'll get my tires away from the fenders. That'll be pretty good. I drilled the holes and got the bottom half bolted in. It's pretty solid. Now I just gotta drill the top 2 holes for the fenders. I got the holes drilled and I test fitted it. It's the next day, and I went ahead and bolted a seat on to see what it looked like. It started pouring last night while I was working, but that bracket's all in there. I'm probably gonna pull it off here in a little bit to paint it. I gotta do some body work on these, because right here I can barely fit a finger, and over here, so I'm gonna have to bend that side up a lot, and then I'll start prepping it for paint. And I'm gonna look for a piece I can put here to brace the fenders up, but I don't know what I'm gonna do for that yet. And I painted the center section on the headlight while I was waiting on my welds on the bracket to cool last night. I forgot to show that. It's shaping up pretty good actually. So I took this board and I've been putting it in there and prying a little. Check gaps. So that one's right there is the same. And right there, it's tight. But if we come over to the other side, loose right there, and right there it's tight. So I think I got it pretty close. So I think I'm just gonna stick with that. Once I get the fenders off, I might try to smooth that up a little. But other than that, it seems pretty good. I'm inside now. Got the fenders off. I'm gonna take this plastic piece and this plastic piece off, so I don't have to tape around anything. Then I gotta start cleaning them. I don't think I'm gonna paint the bottom side. I think what I'm gonna do is paint the main area green, and then this little lip that curls up right here, paint it black so it'll match with the hood. So I'm gonna clean this up, paint it, put it on there, and see what I think. Well, I got them all ready for paint. I'm about to throw a couple coats of primer on there because I don't want to have to put 76 coats like I did the hood. And we'll see how this turns out. Well, I got the primer on. Now I'm about to put the green on after that dries. And then once everything dries, I'll tape everything up and come back with black on that line. I think I might paint a little of this bottom area black too. That little dent right there. I think I might paint it black so it can flow into the floorboards. But I'll go ahead and put the other coat of paint on. Well, I painted this back bracket up, and the fenders are drying, and they should be pretty close to done. And then I'll do the black on the back of them, which the black takes a lot less time to dry. And then the fenders can be on. And then I gotta notch out my shift plate a little. And then the mower itself, the paint job on it anyway, will be done. I just gotta fix the pulley and put a pulley on the front, because the pulley for the front, it had a PTO on it, and I don't have the PTO bolt anymore. I'll have to find it. But it's getting a lot closer. Oh yeah, and I gotta bolt that bracket on the back. I'll probably go ahead and do that because I can work on the pulley later. And I gotta do some touch-up paint from right here, because that snapped the bodywork. And then the grill will help brace that all up. So that's about it for right now. I'll show y'all once I get the fenders painted up and back on, but yeah. Well, I got the black strip painted. I think I'm gonna come in later with a little black paintbrush or marker or something. Well, paintbrush. And fill in some of the rough edges, because I didn't get it taped quite right in some spots. I'll just blend it out with a paintbrush later. But I think it should look pretty good. I'm gonna bolt that on there real quick. I got the fenders bolted back on. I guess I can put my cup holder back. Now my cup holder back. I notched this out a little because the height difference made it where I couldn't get all the way into reverse. The hood's painted. I'm gonna paint the wheels, but I think I'm gonna call it for today's video, and I'll make a separate video for getting it running and moving. And I gotta paint the wheels and make a grill still, but that'll all be in the second part, because it's gonna end up being a pretty long video. So see y'all on the next one.